Hi, you guys. It's Jasmine coming back at you with another video from JCTC Nursing School in Louisville, Kentucky. Um, this video is going to discuss psychological things in regards to mom, dad, and family dynamics. We're going to talk about the Rubin method, the how the dad adjusts to the infant and siblings. So let's get started. All right. First thing I'm going to talk about is the mom because she's one of the most important things. So, one of the things that we use to determine her maternal bonding with the baby is the Rubin maternal role adjustment. Okay. So, what is the Rubin maternal role adjustment? It just tells us how is she adjusting to her new change in her life. Okay. Now, the Rubin maternal role adjustment has three phases. We have taking in, taking hold, letting up. If you're like me, you like sometimes need to help more so big picture. If you were to say to someone, "Oh, I'm taking it in," as in, it's all about me. This is her me phase. This is when she's going to talk about the labor and delivery process over again. She's very dependent on the nurse and her family. Um, and and when I say dependent, I mean she verbalizes the need for food, for sleep. She doesn't really do stuff by herself because she's still trying to adjust to this what just happened, and she's trying to recollect in her mind her birthing experience. So she's really going to talk about labor and delivery. Independent is all about me, how I'm feeling, and the focus is on self. Now, the taking in phase should only last 1 to 2 days. Is that right? Yes. 1 to 2 days postpartum. By 2 to 7, maybe 10 days, that's when the taking whole phase taking starts to happen. This is when she becomes a little more independent, but not as much as when she is in the third stage. Um, During this stage, the focus is not so necessarily on herself. She is trying to widen her care away from herself and more so on the newborn. And this helps with education. uh, and she starts to incorporate the focus on herself. But she starts to stop depending on the nurse and her family members for stuff. She'll start depending on herself. Um, so her self care is great. What else? Did I miss anything? Or no. This taking hold happens when she is more so in her maternal role. Okay, the letting up one is when she's focused on herself. You're still in a little bit of a shock, um, and you really don't know how to feel, um, because you've been so focused on yourself for such a long time. Uh, you're needy, and that neediness comes from maybe a place of fear or something like that. So, in uncertainty, like you don't know what to do. But by day 2, leading into day 10, the mom should start to feel like more, not as confident, but a little bit more confident in her own ability. Um, but definitely, she's not going to be depending on the nurse as much or her family. And when day 2, she's going to realize, oh my gosh, if I wash up, he should probably wash up. Like certain things like that. And self care. Um, this is the best time taking hold. It's the best time to teach. She's more open to teaching, especially about the newborn. During the first day, it's not so much great time to teach about the baby. Uh, Unless she's like, hey, can you show me how to do this? But since we know as nurses what day, because based on the day uh, in Rubin, we know that uh, taking in is not the best time to be teaching mom anything about baby. Um, she still lacks a little bit of confidence, but overall, she's pretty good. Um, Next one, letting up. Letting up is the super mom phase. Okay, I call it super mom phase. This is when she is independent completely. Woo. This is happens 10 days after she is back to work. She's a working mom. She got under control. She is just doing amazing actually. And she has the ability to now separate herself from the newborn in ways of like organization. Working, she is separating herself, as in like also including selfishness. She knows what the child needs. And just because the child cries, it's not something that she did. He's just hungry. So she's able to separate her emotions from what the needs of the infant is. And now she knows what to expect. The family dynamics are good. She's able to incorporate the infant into the family lifestyle. And they're all adjusting to mom and dad are adjusting to their roles and expectations at this point, or mom is. All right, so let's go over this again. During the Rubin maternal role adjustment, it is a total of 10 plus days in journal for all three. Taking in phase, the mom is taking in what just happened. It was a traumatic experience. Um, this taking in phase lasts for like 1 to 2 days postpartum. This is the all about me phase. We're gonna relive my labor and delivery process because, uh, and it also brings attention on the mom, not so much on the baby. And then she will verbalize her need for food and water, and she's gonna be dependent, and she's just trying to figure it out. But is the uncertainty at she has a lot of uncertainty at this point, and that uncertainty causes her to be in this all about me phase because it's been about her this whole time, even though she's been growing this baby. But it's different when the baby's in you versus when the baby's out and the doctor's like, "Here you go, here's your baby." Um, so 1 or 2 days taking in. Uh, taking hold 2 to 10 days. It is great because you move from a dependent position to an independent position. Uh, it usually happens around day 2 to 3, but can extend to day 10. Um, So now when she's taking hold, she's realizing, oh, I have this person, this new little person to take care of. So now I have to broaden my perspective to take care of this baby. So that's what it means by I'm taking hold of the situation. And she's going to self care on her own. She's not going to depend so much on the nurse and the medical team. Because maybe first day postpartum, we're helping her to the bathroom. During this time taking hold, she might just get up and go by herself. And this is the best time to teach her about the infant care. She may lack confidence, but taking hold means she's willing to learn. Now, emotionally speaking, she's going to have a little bit of mood swings because her hormones are out of whack. So we're going to have to be very patient. And also, additionally, she's going to have concerns about her body and self function, which goes into educating her about like different things that's going on in the body right now for her, especially with her cervix, her abdomen, her weight, her just anything that she might be concerned with, her stretch marks, her linea nigra, her melanin, hyperpigmentation, just stuff like that to help boost her confidence. Um, letting up. Letting up is when she is completely independent. She comes in the office for her checkup and she's like, yes, 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 I got it. I did it. I started work. I my family's adjusting to the baby perfectly now. We've incorporated the baby into our lives. And everything's just great. And she's able to separate the needs of the infant from her needs. And when I say that, I really do mean that just because the baby cries does not mean the baby hates you. She's able to understand now that he's crying because he's hungry. Okay, let me go get him a bottle. It's not so emotional. Uh yeah, and that's it for mom. Now let's talk about dad real quick. So dad okay, so dad men are less prepared for babies, first of all. When the baby comes. They're not thinking so much about the immediate future like females are. Okay. And that has a lot to do with their culture and their what else did she say? Culture and oh yeah, if they've taken any classes like the Bradley Method class, which is a great class that teaches men what to expect during labor and delivery and afterwards and how to coach their partner into giving birth. So its expectation originally is like a unicorn in a field of lollipops. It's very based on fantasy. Um, they don't prepare, which is they fantasize about what they think the baby's gonna be like, um, and they want a deep emotional connection with the baby, and they have a deep emotional connection with the baby in their fantasies, but they're not prepared for it. Um, and they have this preconceived notion during the expectation phase. Yeah, the notion of what the baby's going to be like when the baby comes home. They may be expecting a great baby sleeps through the night is perfect, but we all know that babies don't sleep through the night until they're almost 3 months old. Um, and they may get a colicky baby. Okay, so when his expectations don't meet what he wants, then it moves to reality phase. Reality consists of feelings of anger, frustration, confusion, and disappointment and guilt because he feels those things, okay? During this reality stage, the dad feels bad, okay? Now, again, he's going to feel anger, confusion, guilt, shame, and I think there is another helplessness because the mom did all the work. But now that we're home, especially if he didn't take any classes like prenatal classes um, or pregnancy classes, he really doesn't know what to expect when the baby comes. And his expectation, his fantasy state did not meet up with his reality. So, how do we transition to mastery? How does he become like the mom and letting up, right? He starts taking more of a initiative to help out. So he makes a conscious decision to take control. Um, and also he will change himself because during this phase, he expected himself to stay the same. Usually, expect him to stay the same. Nothing's going to change. But you have to change with an infant. You can't keep doing the same things for yourself. You have to think about the other person, and that requires a change on your part. So for him, transition to mastery, he's taking control and he is changing his mindset. And when you change your mindset, you change yourself. All right, and that's how he. Ooh, heart's hurting. That's how you or he transitions to mastery, because now he puts the newborn is the priority, not himself. Same with the mom. Now, how does he reap the rewards of this big transition? He reaps the rewards of this transition by seeing his baby smile. Then he also reaps the rewards by he has a new sense of meaning in life. It's no longer about himself. It's more of a complete feeling in regards to infant care. All right, so now last thing I'm gonna talk about is siblings. So if a mom has more than one child, that golden hour after delivery is very important. Even after, let's say she was under general anesthetic, I just learned today that when she wakes up, you need some time for her to adjust, and everybody needs to leave the room besides the mom, the dad, and the brothers and sisters. Okay, so the mom, when she wakes up, it's not so much stimulation, okay? Because we're going to have to orientate her and do a whole bunch of stuff. We're not going to cluster care as nurses. We're just going to steadily come in and check in and do little bits of things. But we want her to get adjusted. But with the siblings too, we want the siblings to get adjusted too. They're not visitors. And the siblings may revert back to, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to write this down. The siblings are going to, if there's an older sibling, they've been only child for a while, and let's say they're 3 years old and they're already potty trained, they may revert back. They may revert back to a younger state, and that is called regression. So, and they may regress or do things that they wouldn't normally do because they notice that, oh, the baby's getting all attention, but what about me? Okay. And there's lots of resources that as nurses you can tell them to use, not tell them, but make a suggestion. You know what I'm saying. Um, and one of those researches is maybe sibling classes, okay? And there's a good research on PBS. It's called Daniel the Tiger. Daniel the Tiger has a little sister. I was watching it with my son, and it's a great show. It really teaches. It will help aid according to their age group, um, them adjust to that new life with that other person, where it teaches them how to be proud and happy that they have a newborn uh, brother or sister. So, like, comment, subscribe. If you want more nursing videos, so I'm gonna post nursing videos. This helps me. I hope it helps you, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.